All right. Um, this shit is passing quick. Okay. What was it? 6 days ago? October 10th? They were invading India from North Africa. From North Africa to India, already total zombie infested. I can't even speak right now. I'm so fucking terrified. They made it to Canada. They made it to Canada. Anyone watching this right now, anybody in Canada, pack your shit, do what I did, bag your stuff, hide yourselves out. I don't even know. They're running rampant. Bear with me. This is gonna be some zombie action. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 31 Days of Horror. We are on day 16. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. Rise of the Zombies, starring Danny Trejo, and this is an Asylum film. So anybody familiar with the Asylum films and production company, you pretty much know exactly what you're getting into. Very cheesy CGI, very cheesy acting. Although I will say the effects on this film specifically kind of surprised me for an Asylum film. What we have going on here is we have a typical zombie apocalypse this takes place in California, but we're guessing worldwide. It's not really exactly mentioned how far this zombie outbreak has gone, but a bunch of refugees, including Danny Trejo and a bunch of other people, are taking refuge in Alcatraz. And there is shots of Alcatraz. Now, I'm not exactly sure how accurate Alcatraz is there because it looks kind of small, and I figured that Alcatraz is much bigger than how they portrayed it in the film, but it is what it is, and it's not really that important. The fact is just that they are hiding out there from the zombies because the zombies can't get there until they can. I won't exactly say how they get there, but if anybody's ever read the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks, zombies can travel through water, being that they don't have the need to breathe or need for oxygen. They kind of can just have water, through themselves and back out their mouths, and they can usually walk underwater. Max Brooks is a very hilarious writer when writing in full detail about how to survive a zombie apocalypse. If you haven't read that book, it's absolutely hilarious. But anyway, the zombies end up at Alcatraz, and then they have to find their way to land. And there's a bunch of scientists on Alcatraz as well. They're doing a bunch of research on cures. They're talking electronically to this scientist who is almost like this close to having a vaccine. How the technology is working still during the zombie apocalypse, left up to question. We're dealing with an Asylum film. We're here for zombie shootouts. We're not really here for plot details or, filling in plot holes or anything like that. One scientist in particular gets left behind, and I don't know why they leave just one. He chooses to be left behind, but they should leave a few because, groups tend to survive better than individuals. But lo and behold, this guy wants to stay behind by himself. He has a daughter who's turned and infected in the island. She's being kept in one of the cells, and he's trying to find this cure as well and learn basically how to, see if he could bring her back at some point. And he's trying to feed her. She's not responding to a lot of the food because zombies like flesh, human flesh. There's some really, really gross out scenes in here too, and that's another thing. I don't know if this is necessarily considered a TV film, but it definitely feels unrated. Asylum films usually are TV films, but for this to be played on television, man, there is some gnarly shit. Like, there's this scene involving the father where he kind of uses himself to give some food to the daughter, if you know what I mean. There's this one woman in here A lot of this film takes place on the San Francisco Bridge as well, which I think is pretty cool. I'm sure it's not the actual location most times, but it looks cool anyway. And the zombies look fine, and the gore effects look really good. But there's this woman who, I'll just say there's a birthing scene, because they find this woman who is pregnant, and there's this, one of the most ridiculous birthing scenes that I've ever seen in my life. Clearly a baby doll, like just clearly a baby doll from the dollar store. It's ridiculous, and it looks so unbelievable, and the thing comes out in full form, like it looks like it's 6 months old. The sound effects, the woman's acting and everything, it's just hokey as hell. But anyways, the baby ends up turning, and then there's a if you've ever seen Immaculate that came out this year, let's just say there's a scene that references something opinionated when it comes to the zombie baby turning. And this woman does something to it, and it's absolutely crazy disgusting. Crazy, crazy gross. And there's this guy that also is in love with her, but she doesn't want to live, and I'm not going to get too much into detail again. I got a little bit too much into certain details, but she ends up not wanting to live, and she kind of has a heartbreaking moment with this guy, even though their romance seems to be pretty good, and they seem to be going in a good direction when it comes to survival. I guess she didn't have the hope of a future, you could say. I'm also very disappointed that they sell this movie with Danny Trejo as, you know, the main hero of the film. The dude turns like 20 minutes, 25 minutes into the film into a zombie. So they totally, I guess, waste his character. They probably could only afford him for so long, but even so, I mean, you could have him come in the third act and then do everything exactly the same instead of doing it all in the first act, because we all want to see Danny Trejo whip some zombie ass. Like, come on. Am I alone on that one? Am I on an island? Who knows? But overall, it plays like a cool action flick, action zombie flick, I should say. And the locations are pretty minimal, mostly, like I said, on the bridge and then on the Alcatraz island. And the characters, they're entertaining enough. They mostly have a lot of depth to them. I like the father and the daughter thing, the infected daughter. I like Danny Trejo as long as he was on screen. It's on the top tier of Asylum films, and when you set your expectations for what an Asylum film is, it delivers pretty good. So it's definitely kick-ass. I'm a huge zombie fan, and the CGI-ness, if I'm sure they're using it. There's definitely no practical effects, but I can't even speak. They got a good team when it came to their special effects and their CGI, and they definitely spent a lot of their budget on the effects and the CGI. So there's one quote in here that says, a must-have for any zombie aficionado. I totally agreed with that. This is something to have. If you're a zombie aficionado, definitely have this one on your shelf. And like I said, there's gnarly scenes. There's gnarly and there's quite disturbing scenes that do push the limits for what I've seen in other Asylum films and TV films. So it's a really cool zombie movie, and I had fun with it for what it is. It just has some flaws here and there, but what kind of film in that aspect doesn't? Not going to beat a dead horse, but you're not coming in here for story. You're coming in here for zombies and shooting them up. So that's Rise of the Zombies. I'm on a zombie kick this 31 Days of Horror. Just a little bit of a forewarning. We have lots of zombie movies coming up in the middle section of this month. So prepare for lots of zombie action and zombie talk. And thank you for joining me once again. I'm having fun still with all these new films that I'm checking out, and love talking about them. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you've seen it before or if you have not, and this sounds interesting. If you're a zombie fan, let me know. And let's keep things spooky all month long, baby. Till next time, sleep tight tonight.